The 21st century is witnessing a profound shift in the global balance of power. It is a shift away from the traditional authority of nation-states and towards the growing influence of multinational corporations. These corporations, with their vast resources and global reach, are increasingly shaping the world we live in. They influence everything from trade agreements to environmental regulations, often prioritizing profit over the well-being of people and the planet. This power shift raises fundamental questions about who governs our world and in whose interests. Are we witnessing the emergence of a new world order, one where corporate interests supersede the sovereignty of nations and the needs of their citizens? This essay explores the complex relationship between nations and corporations in the 21st century. It examines how corporations have amassed power, the consequences of this power shift, and the potential solutions for a more just and sustainable future. The rise of corporate power is not a sudden phenomenon. It is the culmination of decades of economic and political transformations. To understand this shift, we must first delve into the historical context, tracing the evolution of the relationship between nations and businesses. Before we embark on our historical journey, it's crucial to define the key actors in this global power play. First, we have nation-states, the traditional powerhouses of the international system. These are political entities with defined territories, populations, and governments. They possess the authority to create and enforce laws, collect taxes, and conduct foreign policy. On the other side of the spectrum are multinational corporations. These are companies that operate in multiple countries, often with headquarters in one nation and subsidiaries or branches in others. They engage in foreign direct investment, seeking to expand their markets, access resources, and reduce production costs. However, the relationship between nations and corporations is not a simple dichotomy. It is shaped by a complex interplay of ideologies and economic strategies. Two prominent economic ideologies that have profoundly influenced the nation-corporation dynamic are state-led development and neoliberalism. State-led development, as the name suggests, advocates for a central role of the government in guiding economic growth and industrialization. Conversely, neoliberalism champions free markets, deregulation, privatization, and minimal government intervention in the economy. Understanding these ideologies and their impact is crucial to grasping the evolving relationship between nations and corporations. The relationship between nations and businesses has evolved through history, shaped by economic systems and political ideologies. From mercantilism to the Industrial Revolution, the balance of power has shifted. The Great Depression marked a turning point, leading to Keynesian economics and state intervention. Post-WW saw state-led development. Governments rebuilt economies and promoted industrialization. The welfare state expanded. Neoliberalism rose, advocating free markets. This began a new era in nation-corporation dynamics. The 1980s witnessed a dramatic shift in the global economic order with the rise of neoliberalism. This ideology, championed by political leaders like Ronald Reagan in the United States and Margaret Thatcher in the United Kingdom, advocated for deregulation, privatization, and free trade. Neoliberalism, often associated with the Washington Consensus, promoted a set of policies that aimed to reduce the role of the state in the economy and unleash the power of free markets. These policies included tax cuts, deregulation of industries, privatization of state-owned enterprises, and liberalization of trade and investment. The proponents of neoliberalism argued that these policies would promote economic growth, efficiency, and global prosperity. However, critics argued that they primarily benefited corporations and wealthy individuals at the expense of workers, the environment, and social equity. The rise of neoliberalism coincided with another transformative force: globalization. The rapid advancement of technology, particularly in communication and transportation, facilitated the integration of global markets. This enabled corporations to expand their operations across borders, seeking new markets, cheaper labor, and resources. Section 5. The Global Village: Technology, Trade, and Corporate Expansion. Globalization, characterized by the increased interconnectedness of nations through trade, investment, technology, and cultural exchange, has fundamentally reshaped the global landscape. It has created unprecedented opportunities for businesses to expand their operations beyond national borders, transforming them into multinational corporations with global reach. Advancements in communication technology, such as the internet and mobile phones, have shrunk geographical distances, enabling instant communication and facilitating cross-border business transactions. Similarly, innovations in transportation, such as containerization and air freight, have made it easier and cheaper to transport goods and services across the globe. This interconnectedness has led to a surge in global trade and foreign direct investment. Corporations are no longer confined to their domestic markets. They can now access raw materials, labor, and capital from anywhere in the world, often seeking the most favorable conditions for profit maximization. Globalization has also fueled the rise of global supply chains, where the different stages of production are dispersed across multiple countries. This complex web of interconnectedness has made it challenging for nations to regulate corporations effectively, as their operations often extend beyond the jurisdiction of any single government. Section 6. The human cost of globalization: labor, inequality, and the environment. Globalization creates economic opportunities but widens the gap between rich and poor. Corporations relocate to minimize costs, leading to lower wages and weaker labor standards. This results in unsafe working conditions and exploitation in developing countries. Globalization also raises environmental concerns like deforestation, pollution, and climate change. Section 7. Financialization. Money makes the world go round. Financialization refers to the increasing dominance of financial activities, institutions, and markets in the overall economy. This trend includes deregulation, complex financial instruments, and shareholder value focus. Financial institutions have gained immense power, shaping capital flow and policies. Corporations influence governments, often prioritizing short-term profits over long-term investments. Section 8. At the crossroads. Challenges to democracy and sustainability. The growing power of multinational corporations, coupled with globalization and financialization, poses significant challenges to democracy, social justice, and environmental sustainability. As corporations become more powerful, they can exert undue influence over governments, shaping policies and regulations to their advantage. This corporate influence can undermine democratic processes, as corporations use their resources to lobby politicians, fund election campaigns, and shape public opinion through media ownership and advertising. The result is a system where corporate interests often take precedence over the needs and concerns of ordinary citizens. Furthermore, the relentless pursuit of economic growth, fueled by globalization and financialization, is pushing the planet's ecological limits. Climate change, deforestation, pollution, and resource depletion are just some of the environmental consequences of our current economic model. We are at a crossroads. The choices we make today will determine the kind of world we leave for future generations. Will we continue down the path of unfettered corporate power and environmental degradation, or will we chart a new course towards a more just and sustainable future? Section 9. Charting a new course towards a more equitable and sustainable future. The challenges posed by multinational corporations are complex but not insurmountable. Addressing these requires rethinking government roles, strengthening regulations, and promoting corporate accountability. Governments must ensure corporations protect workers, consumers, and the environment. This includes enforcing labor and environmental standards. Closing tax loopholes is essential. Greater corporate accountability is needed. Corporations must be responsible for social and environmental impacts, achieved through regulations, consumer pressure, and corporate initiatives. Global challenges require international cooperation. Nations must work together for a just and sustainable global order. The 21st century presents unprecedented challenges and opportunities. Rethinking nation-corporation relationships can create a more equitable, sustainable future.